Oh, you're here early. I didn't expect you this early. Well, all right, it's okay. I'll take this group, Janet. You could take the next tour. Welcome to the Museum of Ancient and Extinct Civilizations. My name is Belle, and I will be your tour guide today. Please take a moment to silence all cell phones, and please note that flash photography is prohibited in our museum. If you turn your attention right over here, you will see our world-famous Jewish culture exhibit. Seth, you can cut the lights now. Jewish civilization, once thought to be eternal. Yes, there was a time in history when the world believed that the Jewish nation would last forever. Despite their small size, the Jews outlived empires that were much larger and more prosperous than their own. Their culture taught them to believe that they were the chosen people, thus deemed by God to be indestructible, no matter the enemy. The proverbial Jew was certainly a most mysterious figure, managing to survive generations of persecution, expulsion, and genocide. Please turn your attention to the following short video.
In the ancient world, in the eastern part of the Fertile Crescent, also known as the cradle of civilization, is the Holy Land, the land of Israel. And there, for centuries, the Jewish people flourished and lived in peace. And then, because they did not live up to their divine covenant, the Jews faced destruction after destruction at the hands of their enemies. First came the Babylonians, then the Persians, then the Greeks, and finally, with all their fury, the Romans, who forced them into exile and dispersion. For over 2,500 years, Jews suffered persecution.
Yes, for over 2,500 years. Since the fall of the Second Temple in Jerusalem, the Jews were scattered across the globe. And for over 2,500 years, they were driven out of their homes in country after country. And yet, century after century, the Jews somehow continued to rise up out of the ashes and flourish. They survived right through the 21st century, making them the longest surviving culture in the world. Only in these last few decades did the Jewish people disappear completely. The Jews are now an extinct people. They no longer exist. Which brings us to today's exhibit. Today, you will see Jews from different eras of persecution. Here, you can see 5 different Jews, each frozen in a time and place in which a different enemy threatened the existence of the Jewish people. Follow me, please. At the turn of the 12th century, the church began its campaign to push back against Islamic conquests and to gain land and power. This campaign was known as the Crusades. The Crusader armies were brutal, acting in the name of a Catholic pope who promised them godly rewards. They pillaged, slaughtered, and wreaked havoc on everything in their way, including the Jews. Please turn your attention to the short video.
But the pilgrims rose up in a spirit of cruelty against the Jews. They inflicted a most cruel slaughter on them, claiming that the killings would be of service against the enemies of Christianity. They attacked them, decapitated many. They destroyed their homes and synagogues, and even divided all the looted money amongst themselves.
The Crusades marked the first large-scale European mob violence against the Jews, which, as we know, became the pattern for the next few hundred years.
Sarah, where are you? We have to leave now.
We are here. I just had to get our things together. Rachel wanted her doll and I couldn't find it.
We don't have time to look for anything else. There are reports coming in every hour that the army is on its way, right here to Mainz.
What will we do? We know what they did just last week when they marched through the countryside. They killed every Jew, man, woman, and child. To them we are nothing but infidels.
The Bishop of Rutherford has promised us refuge in a stronghold on his estate. Rabbi Toledano has instructed us to entrust all of our money and jewelry into his hands. It is the only way to safeguard it from the pillaging that we know is on its way.
Why do they want to hurt us, Papa?
Because we are Jews.
Let's go. The bishop will address us shortly.
Jews, do not fear. I offer you my guard and protection. You will stay with me here in the main hall of my own home, where it is safe and secure. Surely, the Crusader army would never attack the home of a bishop.
Come, let's sit here.
Mama, am I to spend my 12th birthday lying here in this hall? I've been looking forward to May 1096 my whole life.
Hush, Miriam. We must be thankful for our safety and ask for nothing else.
Mama, I'm scared. I can hear the horses approaching.
Sleep, Rachel. We are safe here.
Just after sunrise, the army attacked the Jews in the hall with their arrows and lances, breaking down the bolts in the doors and killing over 700 men, women, and children. Sadly, this is how thousands from the Jewish community in Europe at this time met its end. Please follow me this way. Despite the Crusades, by the 14th century, Jewish communities were flourishing once again, this time in the golden age of Spain. Yet this golden era, like all golden eras, was bound to come to an end. Please watch.
Jews who had converted to Christianity are accused of secretly sabotaging the Christian faith. Thousands perish in a ritual called the Act of Faith. The assassination of the Inquisitor sets off a wave of reprisals. Mothers will die to protect their children, and the highest in the land will pay the ultimate price. It is the beginning of the Spanish Empire, and a long dark night that will last for centuries.
Here we are, circa 1480, when the infamous Spanish Inquisition was put into effect in order to root out the false Conversos, the Jews who converted to Christianity but continued to practice Judaism in secret. These Jews had been given the choice to convert or die during the anti-Jewish riots of the previous century, and so it was not uncommon to find those who still secretly maintained their faith. Interestingly, it was the food that these Conversos ate and the way that they prepared their food that often gave them away.
Maria. Coming, Senora.
Maria, I need more honey, please.
Si, Senora.
And while you're in the pantry, please bring me more olive oil.
Si, Senora.
Abuela, what are you making?
Oh, this dough are the matzah cakes that we make for Passover and that we make in secret.
Why in secret, Abuela?
Oh, silly girl, you remember the story of this recipe? These matzah cakes are magical, but if anyone finds out that we're baking them, they'll lose their special powers to grant your wishes.
So I can't have one until...
Of course you can have one. You can have as many as you want as soon as they come out of the oven.
But I thought you said they were for past.
Oh, therefore your after-school snack. Now, go along and find your brothers to play with. That girl is such a handful. She's always looking into things that she shouldn't. Now, I'm just going... Maria, why are you looking at me like that?
Senora, that is a recipe of the Jews.
How dare you accuse me of cooking like a Jew? If I hear you say that word one more time, I will make sure that you never find a job in this village again. Now get out of this kitchen. And if you're lucky, I'll pretend you never said what you said.
Angelina, my darling wife, what is that delicious smell?
She knows. She figured out what I'm making.
Now, you cannot believe she will report us. She knows how important and powerful our family is.
That's just it. The monarchy would love to get their hands on our money and our lands. And the Inquisition authority, they pay a hefty price for these kitchen spies. Maria is not going to hold her tongue. It was a mistake. It was a mistake to hire her. I told you we shouldn't have hired her.
Maria Sancho, the kitchen maid, turned in Angelia de Leon and her husband to the Inquisition authorities the very next day, with a detailed report of the preparation of her matzahs. They were found guilty upon trial in court, and both hanged. The family fell from grace as they lost all their lands and possessions. Such investigations and trials, as well as expulsions and executions of Jews, went on for hundreds of years, forcing the Jews to find refuge again in other countries. Right this way, please. Many Jews fled in search of a more stable and peaceful life in the Middle East, joining Jewish communities who had been there since Babylonian times. Here, you can see actual silent footage from these communities. And indeed, after settling in Muslim lands such as Iraq, Iran, Syria, Lebanon, Egypt, and Tunisia, the Jews flourished alongside their Islamic neighbors and lived undisturbed for many centuries. However, even this peaceful existence was not to last. As the 20th century dawned, anti-Jewish feelings festered, and waves of Arab persecution began.
Yalla, Abraham, have you found it yet? It's in Parshat Yitro. Come, let me show you where Matan Torah is.
Oh, Baba, how many more hours until Minyan?
It's only midnight, Abraham. We have 5 more hours until Netzach Hama. I know it's hard, but now that you are bar mitzvah, you get to stay up with us all night learning Torah and Shavuot, any way you wanted to.
I know, I'm trying. But do we have to stay up all night? Why not just a couple more hours?
Ibrahim, us Iraqi Jews have been carrying on this tradition for thousands of years. Let's see. Now it's 1941. Matan Torah was in 1312 BCE. That's 3,253 years. And now you get to be part of this tradition. Come, let's continue.
Wait, what's that noise? That sounds like shooting.
It sounds like people mobbing. Quick, Ibrahim! Get the broken bricks from the wall! They're coming for us!
The Muslim mob continued their violence throughout the night, looting Jewish homes and killing over 700 Iraqi Jews, men, women, and children. Families defended themselves in any way they could. This event, known as the Farhud, marked the beginning of the end of the Iraqi Jewish community. And as similar events began to take place all over the Middle East, a mass exodus of Jews began once again. Almost 1 million Jews fled the Muslim lands in the 20th century, leaving that area of the world nearly bereft of Jews. Follow me as we journey back to Europe circa 1930, when the Jewish communities had again reached a pinnacle of culture and Jewish life. Before World War II, there were over 9 million Jews living throughout every country in Europe. They enjoyed a rich tapestry of Jewish culture, spanning many different languages, levels of religiosity, and traditions. Particularly in Eastern Europe, Jewish life thrived. There were scholars, artists, musicians, doctors, writers, rabbis. But as Hitler and his Nazi party rose to power, the Jews began to lose their jobs, their freedoms, and eventually, their lives. Please watch.
Once the ghetto became a reality, the Jews trapped inside were its prisoners. They could no longer come and go freely as they wanted to. They literally went to bed one night and woke up the next morning surrounded by walls. And now at the entrance to the ghetto stood very intimidating symbols of authority, German guards and Polish policemen. Any Jew who was found outside the ghetto was unceremoniously shot. The Jews were sealed inside the ghetto.
There was nowhere for the Jews to run, nowhere for them to hide.
Dear Diary, how is it that when I look back at your first page, I can hear my own laughter jump from between the lines? How is it that just 1 year ago, on the day of my 9th birthday, I wrote in you for the first time and I sounded so full of hope and happiness? How is it that you were given to me by my father just 1 measly year ago, and now my only memory of him is the photo I pasted into your cover? It has been 3 months here in this attic. I am in the same clothes that I wore the day my cousins and I came up here. We sleep, eat, read, and talk, lying down, side by side. There is no room to stand or stretch. Who could have known this attic would become our home? Mama says we are lucky to be alive, but I am too hungry to feel lucky. Yesterday, we got some scraps of potato peels from the pig pen, so today I am just hungry. But I know that tomorrow I will feel that feeling again. That emptiness in my stomach that is so deep it hurts. That pain that makes me want to die. But I smile and I tell Mama I'm okay. If I don't, then she will give me her potato peels and then she will feel that deadly pain. Today, Mama went to talk to the farmer and his wife. They say it's getting too risky to hide Jews in their attic. The neighbor's son was shot for hiding a Jewish boy in the barn. His own father routed him out. I hope they decide to keep us. I keep asking myself how it can be that this is happening to us, but I know the answer all too well. It is because we are Jews.
Was that the secret knock? Let's wait for it again. It sounds wrong.
Hello? Is anyone in there?
That sounds like Mrs. Zeitner, the farmer's wife.
What should we do? Should we open the floor?
Of course, she knows that we are here. Wait, what if something happened to Mama? We have to open it.
No, we can't. She didn't do a secret knock.
Can anyone hear me? You see, it's a simple ceiling. There is nothing above it, not even enough space for a human being.
If we find out you are lying, we will kill you, your husband, and your daughter. Just like we killed that woman we found sneaking into your barn. I swear to it.
We did the right thing. We were right not to open the floor.
What woman did they kill? Could it be?
That was the right knock.
You have to leave. They will be back soon.
But please, we have nowhere else to go.
I'm sorry. I can't risk my family's lives any longer.
Where's my mother?
I'm so sorry, Sarah.
No.
Sarah's mother, along with Sarah and her 3 cousins, Rachel, Hannah, and Golda, were among the 6 million ultimately killed by the Nazis in what became known as the deadliest genocide in history. And yet, from the embers of the Holocaust rose a surviving Jewish community that began to live and flourish once again. A state of Israel was established, and Jewish communities around the world lived in peace and security. Little did they know that the worst enemy lurked right among them and was strengthening with each passing decade. Follow me into the age of the internet and social media. By the early 2000s, the Pew Report showed that assimilation had become the biggest threat to Jewish existence. An alarming 58% of diaspora Jews were intermarrying, and the number of Jews in the world was not increasing. It actually seemed to be decreasing. Although there was no nation threatening their physical or spiritual existence, the threat came from within, as Jews all over the world renounced their religion, married Gentiles, and raised their children out of the faith.
Sahara, you have got to remember your Jewish roots, even in college, especially in college. Make Jewish friends, have a Sabbath meal, meet Jewish boys.
Oh God, Mom, seriously. It doesn't mean anything to me. Why should I do something that doesn't mean anything to me? I don't believe in that stuff. I should be free to do what I want and be with who I want. Religion doesn't mean anything. It's just a bunch of nonsense made up by people who want to control other people.
Sarah, at least take your necklace. At least that, as a reminder of where Grandma and Grandpa came from.
Okay, Mom. Whatever you say.
And take this.
No.
Please, Sahara, what's the harm? Just take it with you. What's the harm in keeping your Bible somewhere in your dorm room? You can hide it in a drawer.
Mom, seriously, it's not like you ever opened this book. It's not like you ever celebrated the Sabbath. It never meant anything to you. But now all of a sudden I should care that I'm Jewish?
Sahara,
Okay, I'll take the Bible, Mom. Just go. Chrissy will be here any minute. We have to work on graduation party favors. Oh, look, she's here. Go.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hi, Mrs. Bentley. What's that?
Oh, it's nothing. Just toss it in that pail over there.
Just toss it?
Yeah, and throw in some of these papers too so my mom doesn't see it and start fishing it out.
What is it?
Oh, don't worry. It's nothing important. It's nothing anyone will miss.
You see, the Jews knew that In every generation, there would be those who rose against them to destroy them, and they truly believed their God would save them from their enemies' hands each time. And that belief seemed to ring true. But in the end, the Jews didn't need their God to save them from the hands of their enemies. They needed their God to save them from themselves. Thank you for visiting our exhibit today. Please remain seated and absolutely silent until the lights come back on.
Shh. No one knows I'm here. I've been here for quite some time, watching the visitors pass through this exhibit. You see, I'm a Jew. I am the last Jew. Or at least, I'm the last one who knows that he's a Jew. There are probably a lot of Jews still left in our society, but they don't know that they're Jewish. Or worse, they don't even care. I've seen Jews throw away their Judaism like an old t-shirt, out of style and old news. I have seen Jewish university students spewing hate towards their own faith, calling it restrictive and oppressive. I have seen parents raising their Jewish children to deny the existence of God. And perhaps the worst that I have seen were all the educated Jews, the Orthodox ones, who were just going through the motions, following the laws, but without any meaning behind their actions, keeping their traditions, but with spite. Jews who sat in their synagogues uninterested, unmoved, uninspired. Jews who just did not care. And it was those Jews who ultimately lost their religion, who raised children who were not taught to believe, who were taught that their religion does not matter. And now, the Jews, the believing Jews who were immersed in the Torah, the laws, the tradition, and culture, have disappeared. I am the last one who knows where I come from and what my ancestors did so that I could be here today. If anyone knew I existed, I would surely become just another part of this exhibit. But I cannot let that happen. I must survive. I must revive. But I need help. I must find all the Jews that still exist and ask them to reconsider. Beg them to try being Jewish again. Implore them to care. If only the Jews had not taken their religion for granted. If only we had stopped to think, what is the meaning behind what we do? What happened in our history so that we could be here today? In every generation, we faced an enemy. In every generation, God saved us. But in this generation, we need to save ourselves.
Oh, goodness, the lights never came back on. Seth, can you get the lights, please? Thank you. You have been a wonderful group. Thank you for visiting our museum today. Please note the tour guides around the perimeters of the room and follow them to your next exhibit. And please do not touch or interact with any of the exhibits in our museum. Thank you and have a wonderful day.